after the Bills win.
Exciting day. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Paul and Mario from Hashtag Sports. We are kicking over through Sportscaster and on YouTube. So hello, everybody.
We are.
Welcome to Buffalo.
Hi. Again.
Yep. Here we are. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's...
Is it beer 30 yet? I think it's beer 30.
Oh my God, dude. The only
Party foul.
Only thing we've gotten wrong all day. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going live here, the Buffalo Bills run their record to 4-1. Very impressive in their own right. And
shocker.
The only loss was to the New England Patriots by the bye week, which a lot of us said that would probably be it, right?
Yeah.
That would probably be it. And maybe there would be a hiccup or two in there. However, well, Paul tries to get things, lit up again on Sportscaster. I was avid on Twitter. I was all over Twitter today.
Hot takes on Twitter.
I had some awful takes on Twitter, and I'm the first one to admit that. But some of the takes, I will cling to like a 4-year-old to a blanket. Unfortunately, some of the so-called play calling that was going on with Brian Daboll today, some I liked. Some I thought were highly questionable.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about, Lebitard's show. But
I took some issues with some of the play calling. The first series, I took a little issue with. You just had a quarterback that's just coming off of concussion protocol. You have 2 quarterback sneaks, one on 4th and 2.
That one kind of got me, and I was just sitting there going, I'm like, why is that?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got a big buzz in the audio again.
Again, just these microphones. Man, I hope this doesn't impact. We're going to record in the car after this. So
yeah, hopefully it doesn't.
Hopefully it doesn't do it. All right, do you want to just disconnect these real fast?
Guys, just as always, like you didn't expect, there's going to be a technical difficulty.
Surprise.
On a hashtag show.
There we go.
I'm thinking there's no more buzz now, but we got to talk a little bit louder.
Do we?
I'm having trouble controlling the sound of my voice.
Let me turn down our microphone on Sportscaster then.
Thank you, Real Talk.
So we are now live on Sportscaster as well. So hello to the Buffalo Bills world. Bills end up taking this one 14-7. And Santos gave us 9 points. That's the thing that gets me about this one, right?
Thank you, Santos.
I'll cheers, right, to a Bills victory, but there are admittedly 9 points that you should have, 9 points that you didn't stop, they just missed. Yeah. That's like my biggest contention about this. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but that's just the way that I feel.
Yeah, breaking down the game, because there's certain things that I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Paul, we're currently at my house filming this, obviously. Paul lives in Lockport, so he's got to drive to my house. So I will always rewatch the game, and it doesn't take very long because you got to skip through all the commercials and stuff like that. There's only a few plays that I actually want to rewatch again, and I was able to watch the first half. And if we're taking the side stuff from Santos right now, it's tough when a lot of the plays that Daboll called plays where Allen didn't really have to do much. Mm-hmm. He's like, listen, one read there. A couple of those plays, you call a screenplay. Mm-hmm. You're not reading really anything unless you can just say, listen, this is not going to work. We got to check to a run or something like that. But a lot of the plays that were going on, it was just like predetermined what was going to happen. Yeah. And Allen, while he had a great game. Statistically, he had a great game statistically. He was spreading the ball all around. I think it was like 7 or 8 guys caught passes today. If you look at it, if you take the pass away from McKenzie, that 46-yarder, he was 22 of 31 for 173, which
that's tight.
I know, but here's the thing: I don't want to get hate mail because the thing is this:
what do you worry about?
This doesn't beat a lot of teams. Those statistics do not beat a lot of teams, and. Okay, if this is the blueprint that is supposed to go on with the Buffalo Bills this year, are you, Hashtag Nation, are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with these? Are they going to hold here? I don't know. But like you said, going back to your point, you take away the 9 points, it's a totally different ballgame. Now you're behind the 8 ball. Now you have to try to throw the ball down the field, which didn't do. didn't do today.
Yeah.
Now, some of that could be Morse. What do you think? Do you think some of that is Morse being out of the game? But Feliciano played pretty well.
Sorry, Nick over in Sportscaster gave us the Bills make me wanna. So I had to hit him with.
You had to hit him with it.
Had to hit him with a little bit of it. Yeah. So you lose Morse, but this is like if you look at the one thing that I didn't really get concerned about was the amount of injuries on the offensive line. Whoa, hey! We just got 1,000 of the fan tickets on Sportscaster. Thank you, Danny Dorito, 1984. There we go.
Boom.
But the one position that I didn't really get too concerned about was the offensive line. I figured the offensive line, if you took an injury or two, you'd be okay.
And which they did.
I wasn't really, ready for the apocalypse to strike, which is kind of what ended up happening. But, I thought the offensive line held up across injuries, which would have absolutely sealed the game for a lot of teams. When you start losing players, you lose Morris and to an ankle, not to a concussion. It's an ankle issue.
Yes.
It wasn't head issue, so that's okay, right? You go into the bye week. This is all right. You lose Ford, and you start sliding pieces around. It happens, right? It happens.
Yeah.
But
Bates came in, played remarkably well.
Yeah, Bates played. It did his job, right? But I think the story of the game, there's two stories to the game. One is Duke Williams. Two is Jordan Phillips had himself a day. JJ Pollock calls it in Sportscaster. Jordan Phillips is a monster. Good God, did he play with passion today.
Oh, my God.
He was all over the place.
I love, he had an offsides penalty. And it was he is ridiculously fast. Anyway, I mean,
He
that
caught
is
the ball.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
caught the ball.
He's so fast. It's just, yeah, he had himself a day today. He played very, very well. Only on a 1-year deal. I figure we should mention that. That's the deal that I think the Buffalo Bills need to get on. Also, a guy that we talked about with Dennis Hickey and Dennis Locke, the two guys that they got, the research and statistics guys, from Miami. They drafted him in the second round.
They
down
sure
there.
did.
So he's a guy that they want. Like, listen, you want to play a rotational front? Let's get this guy in here. He had a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Let's try to hop into the chat here. Jesus says Jordan Phillips is a beast. A lot of beast talk. Was Oliver staying down to give our defense a breather? I mean, has been
he looked fine.
A play you got to do.
Yeah,
if you have some timeouts to give, that's usually something that you can do. Madden Football Talk coming in with Duke.
Yep. King Isaac says, hi, 585 Farmy says, extend 97. Now that's interesting, right? So you looked across the defensive line that I felt was the most impactful today, and it was Shaq Lawson, Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, and Jerry Hughes. That was your most effective defensive front today, right?
Yes.
Here's the thing about that, right?
What's up?
Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips are on the last year of their deals.
They are.
So it was a really weird situation. You still have another year on Trent Murphy, right? You obviously have Ed Oliver for a long time. You just re-signed Jerry to an extension. But that kind of got me a little bit.
Chris Masevsky says, trade for Von Miller. Some talk with that. There's been some talk with that.
Hey, everybody wants out of Denver right now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants out of Denver.
Well, Frankenstein's your quarterback. What do you expect?
Life of John says we need Trent Edwards. We do not need Trent Edwards. I do not need to go back to that life. I do not need to go back to that
my
life.
Buffalo Bills soul.
Yep.
How dare
I know, right?
All right. But now, are they playing well because they're on the contract year, or are they playing well because this is? Are they auditioning, or are they auditioning for this team? It seems like they'd be auditioning for this team, but you always have to take that into account when you have a guy that's on a contract year. He's going to play lights out because that next contract he gets is going to set him up. If you talk about Mitch Morse, same deal. He played out of his mind in Kansas City. He gets to be the highest paid center in Buffalo. That's what he's playing for. You know what I mean? So, and, everyone was cautious about him during camp and all that stuff. Well, he's protecting his own investment, which is himself. So I understand that completely.
Well, and let's not forget, we were playing a Marcus Mariota who's on a contract here. He's playing on that fifth-year option. So when he dives headfirst into the end zone, homeboy's got to do that. Like, you got to do that. You don't have a choice. You're on the final year of your deal, and most people don't think you're the answer in Tennessee anyway. You have to do that. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's true.
It's got to happen.
Scott Blakely comes in on the chat, says, recap the injuries over today, please. Because on that one set, it was worrisome because you had Milano and who else went out on that last drive? They ended up holding them. But I can't remember. Milano was out and someone else was out. Paul's going to get on that right now. We're going to check that out for you. Running game ND had no mistakes. Mike Trotter comes in, running game and D, and no mistakes. We go 12-4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were
Murphy. You lost Murphy. Too.
Murphy too. Okay, Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go 3-1 for each quarter of the year. That's 12-4. That doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility. What a lot of people, different people. I mean, 4-1 by the bye. Vegas had them at 6-10.
Yeah.
So if you took the over, congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations for taking the over. If you bet the under on today's game, then you watch our show because we told you to bet the under. This
all
is
the
no
time.
surprise. We're
See,
like, please, just bet the under, man. Bet the under.
But the beautiful thing about the Buffalo Bills and what I like, what they're trying to do with this offense, okay? Time of possession, okay? They want to win the time of possession battle. What does that do? Too many times last year they gassed their defense and what was going on, and they had too many 3-and-outs and all this other stuff. You had a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback that was learning. That's going to happen. That's par for the course. Then what you want to do is they're shortening the game. Like, listen, if we control the ball for 10 plays, it doesn't matter if we get 3 or 7.
Right.
We're shortening the game. We're letting our defense hunt. We're letting them rest. You got a 36-year-old Frank Gore who looks like he's 26.
Frank Gore is, and I posted this on Twitter. I didn't even look to see if anybody followed it or retweeted it or liked it, but I posted it on Twitter. I was like, if Frank Gore was a horse, he's the one whose DNA that you freeze because it's good for the species. Right? Like, he was unreal today. Just absolutely unreal. And you take a look at what they want to do. And when they brought in Brian Daboll, you looked at LaShawn McCoy with Brian Daboll, you're like, okay, well, he's not a typical fit for the type of running back that Brian Daboll wants, right?
Yeah.
Frank Gore is the fit for what Brian Daboll wants as a running back.
Absolutely.
Just a head down, right? That's why Ivory played so much, right? And it speaks volumes for what they're going to expect Evan Singletary to be able to do. If you're going to succeed in this offense, you got to be able to run in between the tackles. But Gore was awesome today. Only 14 carries, 60 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 19 yards was his long run. They pulled out all the stops. We even saw 2 TJ Yeldon rushes today. It's been a while since we saw some of those.
Yeah. The thing about Gore that I think is very understated, and my buddy Mike, you know Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Mueller brought this up to me. He said that he was looking up statistics when we were chatting the other day. He said in 15 years Gore has fumbled 46 times.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's not fumbles lost. That's fumbles total.
Right.
So I don't know. We didn't go in too deep at what the stat was, but he wants a guy that takes care of the ball. Frank Gore takes care of the ball. I mean, a stark contrast to what we've seen in TJ Yeldon, however. But Yeldon's not there to grind the clock down when you want to protect the lead. He's the guy that's going to catch passes for you out of the backfield. So. Yes. Danger Carlos Danger. He said, Mario, I looked but couldn't find how close Saffold was to the record for sacks given up in a game.
Oh my God, he was awful today.
And yes,
you loved Roger Saffold.
I did.
Loved Roger Saffold. You know why?
Maybe it was the system he was in. I don't know. It's
just every time there was a snap, it just looked like he was looking for his AAP card on the ground. He's like, where'd I draw the AARP card?
But another thing that brings us, that reminds you, we talked about this during the summer. We talked about it on our shows, and if you're one of the chosen few that have been with us ever since we started this mess.
Yeah.
Roger Saffold, we talked about Quentin Spain coming over to the Bills late. Remember? He was a late. And a lot of people were questioning whether or not it was Quentin Spain or it was Taylor Lewan covering him up.
Right.
Well, Roger Saffold was a success in L.A. Okay?
Yep.
He comes over. He plays next to Lewan today. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. So it was Quentin Spain that was just doing good all on his own. So... Well, another steal for the Buffalo Bills.
I'm not going to say Lewan looked bad today, but J.J. Pollard calls out over in the Sportscaster chat. He thought that Lewan looked rusty. I didn't necessarily think Lewan looked rusty. It's just there's communication across the line that has to happen that he hasn't been a part of the last 4 weeks. And as the offense evolves, that communication, he's been in the room, but he hasn't been in battle with him, right? So he's only playing telephone. He's just going by what other people have told him as far as how it plays out.
There were 2 twists and stunts where Mariota got sacked that I think if this was his 5th game, he probably would have switched and picked up.
Yeah, well,
but because he, like you said, he wasn't there.
I saw a few cool things. So there was actually a couple of snaps where Ed Oliver lined up at defensive end and Jerry swapped in to D tackle. I was like, oh, that's fascinating.
Oh.
Like trying to abuse that left guard. That's what they were trying to do. They're like, well, with a little speed, we could probably get inside on this guard. It was nice.
21 games in, you got to think of new things to do against teams, and I thought it was very very similar. If you were watching, obviously, Allen, how he can correct his mistakes. We talked about it, even jokingly said that going up against Patriots Mid-South with Vrabel, Butler, Logan, all those guys, Deion Lewis, all these guys, former Patriots that went down there with Vrabel and everything. He tried to implement a lot of the things that the Patriots did last week as far as schematically from the defensive side of the ball. Allen was able to recognize a lot of those things, going 5 wide.
Right.
Just another thing that we've talked about a lot of times here is that when you go 5 wide and you spread a running back out, all right, if a corner goes with him, more than likely it's zone. If a linebacker trots out there with the running back, that's going to be man. That's one of those early tells. Now, they don't have to do it all the time, but that's a great thing to do to try to distinguish if it's man or zone if you're really unsure.
Lamar Page says our coaches seem to play situational football instead of coming to play football. I think that's a fascinating concept to throw out there, because this is not a team that is out there to
score 35,
to drop 35 on every opponent. They're going to play and beat their competition. It doesn't seem like they're really willing to go too much further, but they got some gifts here. They really did. They got some gifts. There was a face mask that could have been called on a Mariota sack. That was a gift, right?
Two
touchdowns called back. 9 points from your field goal kicker that you're just pissing into the wind. You know, like there were opportunities here for the Bills to lose this game, and they still only ended up being up 7 at the end, with the final score being 14-7. So this was a tough game. But I do want to talk about Duke Williams. We're going to get to that in just a moment.
So, I know you guys are salivating to talk about Duke,
but why don't you? No. So in response to that, right? I think that's a good comment to make. They're playing to their competition. They're not playing their brand of football. They're playing what they feel is going to be most successful, and that's going to probably frustrate a lot of fans.
Well, I know. We said that the offense that they're going to run is not going to be exciting. It's going to even be boring. I mean, we bang the drum, at least I did, bang the drum all during the summer of that's what it's going to be. The EP system, Earnhardt-Perkins system that they're going to run is boring, and I understand that. It's boring but effective.
Right.
So today you got to see how effective that thing could be.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a Ferrari and you're going 10 miles an hour, you know, as far as with Josh Allen, you know what I mean? He's not throwing the ball downfield, I understand that. But what this reminded me of is that the Buffalo Bills in October are playing December football. They're saying, listen, we're going to have some of these games near the end of the year that are situational that we're going to have to kind of draw back on. If you come out of the gate, and I'm not saying that they can do this, but if you come out of the gate and you start scoring 35 points a game, then when you get in those really tight games, what are you going to do?
Right.
Every game they've had has been a tight game.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Giant game, I understand that.
Sure.
But you got all these tight games. How much this team is learning right now is amazing.
Sure.
That they can carry into December and hopefully into January.
Buffalo, New Yorker, boring wins. But hey, wins is the key word there. But you brought up something that parlays into Duke Williams, and I want to get to that. So you talked about the Earnhardt-Perkins system, which is, again, a simple way for an offense to process routes, right? So it's the same route, just in different formations, right? If you're the X receiver, you're always running this route. Doesn't matter where on the field you are, you're just always running this route.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So the reason that I bring that up is because, right, you had Duke Williams, who was brought up yesterday. Now, mind you, they could have had in the game plan that they were bringing him up, but there were too many injuries to really buy that they were going to use. I thought they were using the extra roster spot with Connor McDermott being released for Byron Maxwell, because they were going to be a little thin at running back with Devin Singletary being out. With Josh Allen just coming off concussion protocol, you're like, well, maybe are they going to bring up Davis Webb so that way they have an extra quarterback, right? So you kind of look at those possible moves. You say, okay, well, what's really happening here? It didn't really put Duke Williams on the radar of things that made a lot of sense, because going into the game against Tennessee, I didn't see why you needed 7 wide receivers on your roster, which is where Buffalo is right now.
Yeah.
7 wide receivers on their roster. So let's back this train up a little bit. Foster was inactive today, but that was it. They still went with 6 wide receivers. So how does Duke Williams come in off the practice squad? He had to play 60% of snaps today.
I was surprised.
He was on the field all day long.
I was surprised.
So is that a testament to the player that Duke Williams is? Or is that a testament to how simple the routes are at wide receiver, that your practice squad wide receiver can come in and run all the routes that you expected Zay Jones to run?
Well, I mean, the fact that he's on the practice, they didn't bring him in off the street. He's been practicing with them stuff all from camp.
Right.
You know, and all that stuff. Plus, it's a great treat to have when you have Duke Williams, because I had mentioned on the 5-minute video that I did last night was he doesn't give you any tells. He has a very unique skill set that he brings into the wide receiver room. All right, you got McKenzie and you got Roberts who run similar plays. I don't say they have the same skill set. I say they run similar plays. You got Brown who just only catches first downs.
Yeah.
And then you got Beasley underneath. You got Knox. You know, he's gonna take some linebackers out of there so you can run those underneath routes. But then you got Duke Williams, who we talked about it from the running back perspective. If Gore's in there, they're probably running. Yeldon, they're probably gonna throw. If Duke Williams is in the game, you can't really tell that, okay, he's in, they're going to be running power. Oh, no, wait, they're throwing to him now.
Right.
Okay, because he has that unique skill set to do that. I was very shocked. Like I said, I'm going to eat a lot of crow tonight. I knew, I was surprised at how much that he played, but because of he's been practicing with the team, I'm not surprised that he was able to diagnose and do those things that he did.
So here's where I come into a little bit of a disagreement with you here, right? Because typically the role of a practice squad player is you're running another team's system.
Not in camp, though.
No, not in camp, but I'm talking right now. So his role in the practice squad right now, right? He's running offensive plays with the Bills, but also he's running plays to mirror the upcoming opponents against the defense, right? So that's one of the things that practice squad players do. So that takes up time, right?
It does.
So how does a guy that has been running other teams' plays step in and take 65% of snaps away from Zay Jones, who I think I maybe saw 3 times today? I'm gonna say 5 snaps.
I didn't.
I'm gonna say he had 5 snaps, but I can only recall 3.
I wasn't looking for him, no.
Wow. I think the big difference between Zay Jones and Duke Williams is Zay Jones has had every opportunity to be successful. He really has been, right? How much competition has truthfully been in Zay Jones' way the last 2 seasons?
Not much.
Near none, right?
Yeah.
And every year he's just kind of been a guy there.
Yes.
Right? And now here's a kid that comes in and is really hungry and earned his spot, right? And he earned snaps. Duke Williams earned every snap he got today.
Yeah, well, we talked about it during the summer when, just after cuts, I believe it was. I think it might have even been on Sportscaster. We talked about right when Duke Williams got cut and got sent to the practice squad. All right, if a team wants to sign him, they got to put him under 53. That's 1. 2, you usually don't practice squad 26-year-old guys.
Right.
Now, him knowing that he's 26, him knowing what it took for him to get to the NFL, now I'm going to ask you this. If he went right to the 53 first day, do you think that he's this hungry and this motivated to play this well? Then, because that was one of the things I mentioned. I said maybe by putting him on the practice squad, you're letting him know, like, listen, you still got some work to do.
No,
and he worked his tail off to get back.
McDermott has such a reputation for making guys earn snaps, right?
What about Zay?
Well, a law of attrition got Zay snaps.
Because second... Yeah,
you look at the first 2 seasons.
Though.
I know, but you look at the first 2 seasons, the laws of attrition gave Zay Jones snaps. You look at Matt Milano, and he was outplaying Ramon Humber, and yet he still couldn't get on the field his rookie season. And then you take a look at Deion Dawkins. We didn't see Dawkins until injury forced him into play, right? So it's just one of those things that you have to earn snaps with McDermott. It's kind of par for the course with him. So if you want to get on the field with Sean McDermott, you have to earn those snaps in practice. And it's just as simple as that. And he earned those snaps today. The touchdown to Lee Smith, Duke was wide open on the right side.
He was wide open.
And then his touchdown pass, that had to be a perfectly timed pass because Allen knifed it through a zone where 2 linebackers dropped back and there was a little bit of a window. And Allen knifed it through to Duke. On that touchdown pass. But before that play even happened, there was a slight motion on the left-hand side of the line. They motioned a wide receiver in, and I was yelling at my TV like, if Duke's running a corner route, he'll be wide open.
Yes.
He'll be wide open. And he runs a
little flat
route, right? Wide open.
That's one of the things with Allen that bugged me today. Like, you may unsubscribe, so like,
you're never.
No, but that's the thing. Like, he already had it in his mind. That's a high school play, Paul. We put that in. The leak back out.
Yeah.
Play action to the right side. He leaks back out. That's a high school play. It worked. I'm not gonna say it didn't. I know Deion Dawkins is upset because he caught that touchdown against the Jets last year. That being said, that was a very simple play, and Allen, I think, in his mind, had that up. In his mind, I'm throwing to Smith because he's going to be wide open. I think he's going to be wide open. That's why. Why else you like this?
I know. Yeah.
I was good. Rainbow. Here we go. But Duke was wide open. I think they were trying to get Duke the ball and get him to score. I really think they were going to try to do that. And the routes that Duke had to run today weren't very complex.
No.
Like they weren't. He was running really quick slants. He was running quick outs and quick slants, and then he was otherwise he was just motioning in to kill somebody at the linebacker position.
Yeah.
So impressed with Duke. I think that they're doing right now with Allen, which I think they should have did game one.
Mm-hmm.
I really think what they did today they should have did with game one.
Yeah.
I really do. And that interception that he had, dude, you're up. Why?
Yeah.
Why? You don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need that there. You're not down 10. You're up 7. Just throw the ball in the 15th row, man. And I understand he's just trying to make a play. And that's the thing that has to get coached out of him that hasn't been coached out of him yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Dable or Dorsey that needs to do that. However, that's one of those things that's going to bother me, and it could haunt them in December if he doesn't break this.
Hunter and Derek. I'm sorry, Hunter and who else was it? Oh, Jordan Senikowski.
Okay.
Both saying, is Zay Jones done? Well, here's the deal. You have 7 wide receivers on your roster.
You do.
Somebody's not staying.
No.
So you have to look at this a couple different ways, right? So you have Isaiah McKenzie and Andre Roberts, who are effectively the same type of player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Zay Jones, who doesn't really fit too much of a mold, is similar to Duke Williams, right? So they're similar in what you're asking them to do. Zay has been a very solid run blocker, but you're going to ask Duke Williams to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Duke Williams earned his reps again next game. Obviously, they're on the bye week next week, but what does that do with Zay Jones? I mean, at this point, you could still waive Zay Jones. Like you could still waive him. And what are you losing?
I think they would want to get something for him. Though.
You're going to trade him for like a 7th round pick. But I mean, anything is better than nothing. But I think if you're looking at the 7 wide receivers on this roster, right? Robert Foster probably carries more trade value than Zay Jones. So if you're going to have a wide receiver just be inactive on your 53-man roster, right? Because are you really carrying 6 wide receivers to every game? I don't think so. I think you're carrying 5, right? So if you're really going to have somebody active, Robert Foster carries more value than Zay Jones, right? But
from a contract standpoint, you're saying, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So are you trading Robert Foster or are you trading Zay Jones?
Who can you trade at this point?
I don't think Zay has.
I mean, Foster's been inactive.
Yeah.
Zay Jones, you have 2 more years on this guy on a very controllable deal. There were 7 teams coming into this weekend that had trouble at the wide receiver position. You talk about the Giants and Jets, who are perennially bad. So the Jets, the Jets have wide receiver problems. He could go there. Inside the division, they're very familiar with him. That's 1. 2, Bean and Gettleman have a relationship from being down in Carolina. Yeah. You can make a deal with the Giants. If he is a good run blocker, that benefits Barkley.
Yep.
So you have that connection there. Plus, you're going to have him on a deal for 2 more years. Mm-hmm. He could be a piece that you use, the rest of this year and next year before you got to sign him. So I think he holds a little bit more value than because of all the injuries that are going on. You got Green Bay, you got Dallas, you got Oakland. Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of teams now that have wide receiver issues, and Zay doesn't appear to be hurt. Mm-hmm. All right, he's just not playing, and I mean, this could be a situation where, because you got Duke Williams as a UDFA. Yep. He has a longer span than Zay does. I think Zay's only 24.
Yeah, he's right around there.
But then Duke's 26. So you got about the same time left with them. I mean, would you re-sign Zay at this point? No,
I wouldn't.
If you're not going to re-sign him, then trying to trade him would probably make more sense. If you get a 6th round for him, then you really have a 5th round, because you know how they always flip picks and everything. So. We got
we got a lot of stuff in the chat. So Paul Chandler says keep Foster, more potential than Zay. Juan Castillo says Foster is nursing an injury, should be ready against the Dolphins. Yeah, he's been hampered with a groin injury, so that's why Foster has been inactive. He was limited participant most of this week anyway, so hopefully he'll be back after the bye. Let's see here. Madden Football Talk says look at Titans 2nd rounder Brown. He's what we hoped Zay would be. AJ Brown's one hell of a wide receiver.
Oh my
He's
God.
one hell of a wide
He's
receiver.
great.
That was a great value for them because he tumbled down draft boards because it was like he was the forgotten man in that Ole Miss offense, which I don't understand because he was worlds better than DK Metcalf. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see
Got
here.
some calls for AJ Green in the chat. Zay and a pick for Green. Buffalo New Yorker comes in. Also, Daniel Carson. He says Green is always hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Donnybrook. Green is in the twilight of his career. He's 31 years old. And Paul, you stated earlier this week that he's only played 2 out of the last 5 full seasons.
Yeah. That's trouble.
I'm
right?
not sure if he fits your offense.
Foot and ankle injuries scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Receivers.
I mean, you want to think about it this way. Consider the source. The Cincinnati Bengals re-signed Boyd early.
Yeah.
You know, they re-signed him very early, probably sensing that Green was on. You know, he's going to be done. He's going to be done. So that's what they decided to do in that respect. So, I mean, I'll consider the source in Cincinnati saying, listen, you know, they signed Boyd immediately when the new staff got in there.
Yeah, that's who they want. Daniel Lamprecht Carson, shout me out, boy. What's up, Daniel? John Marlowe. John Marlowe says, I agree I agree if we are not going to lose Foster, give both to the Vikings for Diggs and a 4th rounder in return. I'm not really thinking Diggs is a great. Diggs? I think Zay and Foster for Diggs and a 4th rounder. Diggs is a decent amount of money, right? He's about $11 million the next few years, so that's a lot of money. He signed up till age 30, so he's still pretty young.
Is that without the bonus? Was that with the bonus?
11 mil base salary.
Okay, 11 mil.
Yeah, about 11 mil base salary. You definitely could afford him, and the Vikings are just going to be hemorrhaging money soon. They're going to have to figure out something with that contract.
Cousins? Oh, yeah.
That's a bad deal. Donnybrook Zay has had more opportunity than most to get his act together. His reliability. He's reliably unreliable. I doubt there would be much interest on the market for him. Maybe you could push a mop around somewhere.
Well, you got to think of all the things that Zay could do. You know, we want to talk about the things that Zay could possibly do in this offense. Could he be a slot guy that runs gadget plays? You got McKenzie.
Yeah.
Could he be a guy that's in the slot that runs routes for you? You got Beasley.
Right.
Could he be a guy that's in the slot that blocks for you? Duke just got called up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Could he be a guy that runs deep? You got Brown and Foster.
Yep.
So where does he fit?
Yep.
Where does he fit other than the fact that this regime had a 2nd round pick on him, and that's where they want to go. And that's fine. He's not the 2nd round pick that I'm worried about on this team right now. That's on offense.
No. I know what you're talking about.
He is patiently waiting until
guys, you have no idea.
week 6 for Dable.
You have no idea how badly I just want to unload on
I
Brian
wish I
Dable
could share
and
some of my
DeAndre
text
Hopkins.
messages with you guys. I can't.
I know.
But I wish I could.
Promised everybody in Hashtag Nation that I would stay out of that.
Speaking of, we could take a timeout. We're gonna get to all the stuff in the chat real quick, but I want to get a timeout before we've given away 3 wristbands so far.
Oh yeah.
What drives your wristbands? If you guys want those, we have a Venmo. It's on our community tab. If you scroll down a little bit on the community tab, it'll show you how to get it. They're $1. All proceeds are going to Paul's hormone treatments. So if you're So if you're able to, I mean, if you want to do that,
this guy.
But you got to make sure that you mark it a private and then give me your address so I can send it to you. I sent out 3 today, or 3 this week, and it was awesome. I actually sent one to a Patriots fan. Patriots fan wanted one.
Yeah, hey.
So it was a Rum Boys. It was a Rum
support.
Boys from Sportscaster. So if you guys want that, definitely hit us up in the community tab and then send it to our Venmo. I'll be sure to get it out to you as fast as possible.
Donnybrook says, "Come on, Paul, you got to defend yourself." I've got all week in the comments section, Donnybrook.
This is my only time to do it. We've been on for 30 minutes. It's the only shot I've thrown at him so far.
I got all week in the comments section. Don't worry. And we are going to be back in the car for this week. So as soon as we're done here, we're back in the car. So we've got content.
We got coffee and pumpkin spice donuts for you. Pumpkin spice donuts.
Throw those out the window.
Probably get arrested for assault.
No, I'm gonna. Here's the thing: if you are a single guy, just throw some pumpkin spice donuts out the window. Basic girls everywhere flock to them like seagulls. This is a herd of seagulls.
Imagine we get pulled over.
A herd of basic girls would be like, pumpkin spice!
I can't wait.
Yay!
I can't wait till we get pulled over and I'm eating pumpkin spice donuts and the cop goes, listen, okay, just go. You got no problems. I don't need to give you a ticket.
I know.
So we're going into the chat. Chivas Gold, Santos MVP. Well, Will
Real
McDermott.
talk, man, Paul is a mess. Getting testosterone therapy, has herpes, and he likes ranch on his wings. Real talk, I appreciate you being a fan. Thank you so much
That
for
is
your
ridiculous.
fandom.
That is amazing. Mitchell Doherty. How about Jordan Phillips? We talked about him at the beginning of the broadcast. Yeah, he just played lights out today. It was awesome. Weird, though, that he's the one that's standing out
Right.
of all the guys that you have there. But, I mean, that's... do we develop Knox quicker or give Croft more looks? Well, Croft has to actually be on the field. He is having a lot of trouble just getting on the field. I don't want to hammer a guy that hasn't been able to get on the field.
Right.
But you got to know what the benefit of this, the benefit that him being out does. Although you want to look on the bright side of an injury, Knox has been able to flourish in this offense. He's starting to get his feet wet. He's starting to grasp all the concepts that he wants. He had an unfortunate drop today, but the ball just got knocked out of his hands.
Yeah.
Well, could you count it a drop?
Well, he had 5 targets.
I know.
2 receptions, 12 yards on 5 targets. Here, I just want to chop the legs out from what you're about to say real fast before you get there. So sometimes the best thing that you can do is not do what your opponent thinks you're going to do. Dawson Knox has been so explosive. If I were Tennessee, I would be saying, listen, this guy is going to light it up sooner or later. I'm a little worried about our linebacker group being able to keep up with him. So let's make sure that we take Dawson Knox and game plan him out, right? So there are some times where you just have to understand that sometimes the best moves are the moves that you didn't make that your opponent already planned for, right? So Dawson Knox got 5 targets. That's plenty of targets.
It is.
That's plenty.
I mean, 32 attempts.
Yeah,
so he got
I'm
5
fine with that.
So that's great.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Would I like to see him featured more? Sure, but I like Dawson Knox down the field. I thought he did a good job sealing off the run for McKenzie. McKenzie looked great on that little shovel pass. And we actually posted on the community tab of YouTube as soon as Singletary was out. So again, subscribe if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube. Obviously, follow us if you're not following us on Sportscaster.
Awesome. Yeah. All Bill stuff. We got all Bill stuff.
Yeah, and
plenty of stuff for the bye week too. Wait till the bye week. Where do you see the bye week videos?
We're going to record on Saturday morning.
We're
going to record on Saturday
morning.
We're
going
again?
Saturday morning.
Yes, I love Saturday morning recording. All right. So anyway, I posted on the community tab with Singletary out. I said, listen, you're only going with Gore and Yeldon and DeMarco. Expect jet sweeps at some point, right?
Yes.
And what did you see when the Bills needed to drive down the field and start putting the game away? What showed up? There's Isaiah McKenzie on a beautiful jet sweep. You had Andre Roberts on a jet sweep. It didn't go for a ton, but you got to look at it, right? And it was a jet sweep that actually went up the 2 gap. I was like, oh, wait. Did I just see Andre Roberts bust the 2 gap? Oh, hey, thank you very much. We just got something in the chat. What was that? Oh,
old-fashioned trousers.
I love old-fashioned trousers.
Dave's eyes are too close together.
Brian Dable was reading his offensive play call sheet in the first half like a lonely man looking at appetizers at Applebee's for one. It was a sad sight, guys. It was a sad sight.
He's Alan from Hangover. Have you seen the pictures?
I do want to call out Pedro Martinez. I remember Pedro commenting on a bunch. What?
Pierre
Martinez?
Oh, Pedro. We got
Pedro
2.
Martinez.
We got 2 of them. Sorry.
No, Pedro Martinez is like, hey, it's my first time being here. I've seen him comment on stuff. So thank you for joining us on the live stream.
Thank you, Pierre.
Yeah, thank you for joining
Pedro, Pierre.
Yeah.
After this win, how confident are you the Bills will make the playoffs? Well, statistically, they're in a very good spot being 4-1.
Yeah.
Very good spot. They have a bye week next week, and then they're playing the XFL Dolphins after that. So it seems like they're going to be in a very good spot. And in 3 weeks, they're going to be playing the Eagles. I think it's October 29th, I want to say. I'm not really 100% certain, but that's a game that, leading up to that week, that's the one thing we're going to talk about. Joe from Believer Talk, who called the game on Sportscaster today.
Thank you very much,
Did a
Joe,
phenomenal job
for doing that.
He's going to be at the Eagles game. So we're actually going to be meeting up with Joe prior to that to... we got something planned for you guys in Hashtag Nation that, we have all 3 of us out. So
yeah, it'll be a good time.
It's going to be fun. So we got that planned. Joe's going to be at that game. So we're actually going to be calling that game that day. So,
and also, just an FYI, October 25th and 26th is the Legends and Stars event at Batavia Downs. Tons of Bills are going to be there signing autographs. So if you want Ed Oliver's autograph, he's going to be there. Trey White's going to be there. Devin Singletary's going to be there. Lorenzo Alexander's going to be there. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas will be there. We're not signing anything.
No, did you want your autograph?
What?
Do they want your autograph?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Dynamite drop in, mommy.
Yeah, thanks. That broadcasting classes are really paying off.
Gore is here. Mueller, give Frank Gore the ball. He had a tweet. Mueller had a tweet the other day. It said, he told me the other day, he said, Frank Gore and I are both 36 years old. He's a running back in the NFL. I have trouble getting out of bed sometimes. Like my legs creak or whatever. But yeah, I mean, once again, Frank Gore is great time. He scored, he averaged like 4.3 a carry today. I thought that there's one thing to not overwork the guy. It's another thing to, listen, give the guy the ball. Allen's game, his play action game, is one of the most awesome things of his game.
Well, we saw it today. It was nice to see it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see it.
Yeah, but you got to do it more. And how you do it more is you run. You got to run the ball. You got to run the ball. I know that the line was a little depleted today. I understand that. Feliciano stepped in brilliantly.
To play center?
Yes. Yeah. And the fact is, what a treat that usually your center goes down, you're worried, but he played all camp. They threw him in there. He did a bunch of different things.
Right.
He made all the calls.
What an ideal situation, right?
Because so perfect.
Yeah. What an ideal situation.
I mean, those are the things that the brass and the coaching staff and stuff don't get enough credit for. Okay, they're hanging on to Zay Jones. You might be a little upset about that. They waited too long to bring out Duke Williams. They waited to this and that. But within the lines, OG Bobby Johnson had that line ready to go and Bates ready to go. Right. So you lose Nasecki, you lose Ford, you lose Morse.
Yeah.
If you told me those three weren't going to be playing, and the Bills would still be moving the ball, I mean.
So I want to pop it over to the chat. First off, Lamar Page was doing the dirty work in the chat for us, saying, "Come on, guys, there's only like 10 likes on this video. There's like 150 people watching YouTube."
There are 150?
So,
Wow.
Yeah, so get to liking the videos. Thanks for joining us,
Hashtag
everybody.
Nation going strong.
Lamar doing all the dirty work. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you like the video. Of course, on Sportscaster, if you haven't donated yet, there are fan tickets available. You can donate. We would much appreciate that. Thank you, as always, to everybody that does that. But there was some talk about the offensive line, as you were just mentioning. Bates got in the game for Chris Misevsky. Chris Misevsky says Bates got in the game, which was great to see. Anthony Owen says trade Zay for an O-lineman. The Bills actually have a lot of O-line depth. That's why they cut Connor McDermott. So I don't really think an offensive lineman is really the answer here. I would like to see a little bit more linebacker depth. If we're being honest here, I'd like to see a little bit more linebacker.
Wait. Let me get a timeout real quick.
Yeah.
Let me get a timeout real quick.
Oh, Evan Anderson says, I want a signed bottle of Ranch, Hidden Valley or Newman's Own.
Okay.
Is that what you wanted to get to?
No, I didn't want to get to that.
I'll sign a bottle of Ranch.
Listen. Here's what I'm going to do.
Not below that.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in here. Hey, thanks for the follow on Instagram. No problem.
Do you have an Instagram account? Okay. I guess we have an Instagram account, guys. I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow Instagram.
At gmail.com. Okay, so listen. Here's what I did. There's 157 people watching this right now. A little pulling the curtain back, okay?
Right.
There's 42 likes.
Yep.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay? You ready for this?
Oh, wait.
You
got a beer?
We got a beer.
Yeah,
right.
thank you, Danny
Sportscaster for the
Dorito.
beer. All right, you guys listening? Because we'll get right back to the chat in 1 second. We got 150 people, 158 people. We couldn't do this before. We couldn't do this last year when we had 30 people in the chat. All the dedicated usual suspects. However, we got 158 people, 156 watching right now. We have 51 likes. If that gets to 100, I just put our email in there, htagsports@gmail.com. If we get to 100 by the time we finish our broadcast in 17 minutes, and you email me by midnight your address, I'll send you one for free.
Oh, the wristbands?
I'll send the wristbands for free. If we get 100 likes on this video, I will send a wristband to everyone that emailed me by midnight.
Man, you get a beer into an Italian and literally everything is on the table.
Hey, here's my stuff. I got stuff everywhere. That's what I'm saying. We get to 100, I'll do it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
It's climbing.
Yeah. All right.
Make sure you have, all right, when it gets to 100, well, listen, you guys got to do this. You have to email htagsports@gmail.com by midnight tonight. Eastern. I gotta make sure.
For those international, they're like, yeah.
So, that being said, thank you guys for doing that. Thank you guys for joining us on this ride. We gotta get to the chat though. We gotta get a bunch.
Yeah. Paul Chandler says, "Send me some Tim Hortons." Listen, we only drink that swill because it's available. That's it. We don't like the donuts. We don't really like the food. The coffee is fine.
No.
I guess.
No.
Listen, the only reason we ended up getting to Tim Hortons was because they had free Wi-Fi, and that's where we used to do our post game. That's a fact.
That's what happens when you're starting
That's
out and you have nothing. That's what so also those of you that are liking that jumped, you guys subbed? You guys
Yeah,
you guys subbed?
I would hope so.
All right, so we get back to the chat. It's going to stop at 99 spin.
Yeah, right. Thanks very
That's
much,
awesome.
guys. So I do want to call out a couple things that also happened in the game. First off, the refs really let the defensive backs beat the hell out of each other.
It did seem like
it was a very aggressive game in the secondary.
It did seem like an old NFC North division.
Yeah, it was a nasty game.
It was pretty
yeah,
brutal.
the refs really let a lot of things go. There were a couple times where route was run, the pass was thrown. I was like, ooh, are we gonna see something? I also want to call out, and don't be mad at me for this, the roughing the personal foul on Allen, where he slid and the defender hit him in the back. I'm sorry, Jarrell Casey's 384 pounds. That train doesn't have brakes.
That knee in the back.
I think that was something that they were trying to avoid. He really was trying to avoid contact. Zay slides. That's 385 pounds coming. He was at full speed.
Josh slides.
What?
You said Zay slides.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh slides. Jarrell Casey, I don't think he can avoid Allen in that case.
That was just unfortunate.
I know,
that penalty was the flip of the Milano. Because Milano happened before that, remember? Milano got cut by Deion Lewis, went right into Mariota's legs, and they you can't stop yourself.
No.
So those kind of cancel each other out, but they were driving on that drive.
Oh, Buffalo fan, thanks for the donation. I appreciate that. He says, if Zay traded, if so, for who? Because we have good receivers. I agree. If you're going to trade Zay Jones, you're not trading for another wide receiver. I think you're fine with where you are right now.
He could. Bean will do more value. Will do more damage.
With draft picks. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if we're looking for something, I would prefer a linebacker, but player for player trades at this point in the season really don't happen. You're going to be looking at player for draft pick. I would trade Zay Jones for a punter.
Oh my God.
Tennessee special teams unit, their punt unit, they did their job today.
Well, they were outstanding.
Yeah, they did. They were outstanding. They flipped field position on the Bills just like that. Boom, 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 boom.
Who would you trade for? DE. If you had to trade him for a position.
See, I think we're fine at defensive end.
Well, you have up and coming pieces, but you could have two pieces relatively gone next year. So I mean, as much as I like Johnson, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So it's interesting though that we're talking about the officiating, and there was a questionable forward pass in a Bills-Titans game in Tennessee.
Surprise.
Stop
me if you've heard this before.
Stop me if you've heard this story before. That's great.
Yeah, that was tough. But again, you had two Tennessee touchdowns wiped out, right?
That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Hyde wanted no part of Henry running up the middle. Did you see when they showed the end zone cam of that?
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. The only guy that...
Brian, I bet you can trade Zay for the kicker. Santos from Tennessee. But YouTube says trade for Trent Williams. I am not opposed to trading for a tackle on this team. Cody Ford, I thought he was fine today. I thought Dawkins was fine.
Did you hear it?
But again,
fine. Fine.
That's it. Fine. Oh, hey, Sean Ives. You guys are great. I want a wristband.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
We're 11 legs short.
11 legs short. I should have raised the bar to 150.
Rain and wristbands.
No, that's awesome. I'm liking on my daughter's computer too. Derek, you sneaky man.
Yeah, and it just went up to 90.
He's running around. Hey, everyone's got a phone.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, well, I think I got an old Gmail account. Hold on 1 second. Let me get in there real quick.
No, honestly, I love these guys. I love the whole chat. This is phenomenal. So, I mean, that being said, a lot of things being said, we talked about Dable. I did. No, you're going to wait till week 6. I understand that. Allen, I like some things that he did, but it seemed like there were some predetermined throws that were going on.
I completely agree. Well, when you have a player coming off concussion protocol, right, you really have to... Whoa!
Shivas.
Oh, Modelo's next week. Modelo's next week. Modelo's
obviously.
Thank you, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
I did not see that
so
coming.
much. Oh, my goodness.
God bless you.
Yes, that Modelo's is on... Well, yes.
Send me your email now. Send me your email now. Shivas.
Yeah.
And let me know how many people are in your family. I'll give you that many. Wow, that's awesome.
There was a great point I was about to make. It's gone now, guys. I don't remember.
Do anybody know who he was talking about? Anybody in the chat? Know who he was talking? Because I wasn't listening to him.
Yeah, all right. I don't remember.
Oh, Sean coming in again. Awesome, guys. You guys are phenomenal. So we come in, a lot of the predetermined throws about Allen, is that what sparks something?
That's what. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay,
So the predetermined throws. You got a quarterback coming off concussion protocol. One of the things about concussion clearance, right, is your decision making ability is a bit compromised here, right? So I think the game plan going in was, listen, we have Barkley. Let's get ready as if Josh isn't going to be ready. However, if Josh is ready to go, we need to take the decision making out of consideration here.
Okay.
We need to say, listen, this is your read. If it's not there, you just go and figure it out, and that's it. When you have a player clearing concussion protocol, the decision-making piece, they're not going to process information as clearly as they could the week prior, right?
Yeah.
That's the main concern.
Yes, yes.
So it was a ton of predetermined throws today. The one thing I want to see from Josh is I want to see him start manipulating the secondary with his eyes, but every time he took the snap, deadlock.
Well, I don't mind with that. At the receiver, or are you talking about the safety? Because he would look at the safety first, then stare down his receiver. Because that's going to give you the indication.
Yeah.
If you look right at the safety off the snap, if you're looking around, he scans the field. Okay, man or zone. Okay, once that is determined, he needs to. If it's man, he needs to know what's the best matchup that he has on that play based on the routes that are given. If it's zone, he needs to know where the safety is going to be. Because all right, I can't get anybody killed on this play. What's going to go on? If it's a cover 2 and I have Duke Williams running it out on that side, I can't. The corner's going to kill him. Ooh. So I can't do that.
Chuck Christopher, would you trade Zay and Dawkins for Trent Williams? I would trade Zay, Dawkins, and a third for Trent Williams. I'll go.
What?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
here's the thing. Deion Dawkins is a captain. I know there's a lot of hate for Deion Dawkins. Believe me, a lot of it in Buffalo is my fault. I've hated Deion Dawkins since they said, oh, we'll put Deion Dawkins at tackle. I almost threw up all over myself when they said, oh, Deion Dawkins can play tackle. And I will admit, I've not been objective about Deion Dawkins. I will certainly not hide that. However, right? Big however. Trent Williams is an animal. And I would absolutely do that.
Who said it? Paul, not you. You didn't say it. Let me scroll. Paul Chandler. He said he's nasty. He's a different kind of nasty. Mm-hmm. Trent Williams is a different kind of nasty.
Yeah.
At that position, and I understand that. However, Beam said something very poignant in the embedded videos at the beginning of the year. He said, "Listen, you got to know who you sign because other players see that. So if you trade Zay and you trade a captain, for this guy, he's putting Trent Williams up there as a captain, like." Similar to a captain, because you got rid of one to get one.
Right.
All right. You got to figure that. That's number one. Number two, if you have an injury to any of your receivers, which there have been this year, you're going to be behind the 8 ball. Okay? And you're going to be kind of limited in some of the things you do. I'm not making an argument for Deion Dawkins. Mm-hmm. I'm not.
Right.
I'm just saying, though, if you do that, how that shifts the locker room, I'm not sure how that would be, because Bean is very concerned about that. So is McDermott. Okay? So if you trade a captain... Although, we're talking about it on paper because we're fans, right?
Sure.
Okay, Trent Williams versus Deion Dawkins. Trent Williams all day.
Right.
Okay, Zay Jones really isn't seeing many snaps. It doesn't seem like he's vibing with Josh Allen, even though they were in pregame today, throwing passes to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Zay Jones and Deion Dawkins shipped off to Washington, 2 controllable contracts that you're going to have to sign in 2 years for Trent Williams. To us, it looks awesome. However, I don't know how that shapes the dynamic of the locker room. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about.
Mario?
Yes?
It happened.
What happened?
101 likes.
No, we got 100, but there's 1 dislike.
That's still 100. Uh-oh.
All right.
103 now. All right, so email us your address. Please include your name. Don't just not give us your name. Please include your name and your address, your mailing address, to #HTagSports@gmail.com.
I just put it in the chat again. Yeah. So, and I will put it in the description as well. I think, no, it's in the description.
It's in the description.
It's in the description. Yeah. And it's on our page somewhere. The email is on our page. So
my phone is going to melt with all these emails. I get notification of every single email that comes into HTag.
By midnight Eastern Standard Time, if you send me your name, your address, I will send you a wristband, and you guys get a wristband.
So, I, at the moment, says, wasn't Shady a captain? Shady was a captain last season. He was not a captain this season. So... he was actually removed from the captaincy before the season started.
Because they knew they were getting rid of him.
Well, I think...
You telling me if he was still on this team? If he removed the captain, they removed it, and he was still on this team, you don't think that would have... No. Yeah. I mean, but they traded him.
Yeah, well...
I'm saying, if he was still here at this point, you don't think there would have been a little bit of turmoil in that locker room?
Right.
I think there would have. I don't know, I'm just
saying. Probably. Probably. Do you ship to Iceland? We will ship anywhere. Tactics 01 doesn't
We
matter.
had
Ship it.
the Hall of Fame Thurman Thomas helmet.
Yeah, then we
last
gave
year.
away. Yeah, we gave away an autographed Thurman Thomas autographed Hall of Fame helmet, which was awesome, super cool. We did that. We're going to be doing other giveaways, pretty similar to that.
We sent it to Italy.
Yeah, we had to send it to Italy. It happens, man. Wherever you go.
Do you know how much it costs to send something to Italy?
It doesn't matter. Wherever you guys are, we'll send it. Don't worry about it.
I asked the lady. I said, listen, what's the weight limit? Because I'll just put myself in a box and go to Italy.
I want to go to Italy.
I just, so do I. But yeah, that helmet got shipped off to, I think, what was his name? Francisco?
Yeah. Yeah, that was Francisco.
So he won it last year, and I had to ship it off to Italy. So yeah, we'll ship everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yep. And we don't care.
I really don't.
One thing that concerned me a little bit, and you guys could take this into the bye week if you'd like, kind of put it in your pipe and smoke it, I guess. If I could use that euphemism right there. One thing that concerned me a little bit was I saw a lot of safety and cornerback blitzes that came inside on Spain. And that concerned me a little bit, right? So I don't know if you saw the same thing, Mar. Did you see the same thing? Because I saw them being able
What was the
to
initial part on Spain?
So I saw them. No. I saw them bringing in safety and cornerbacks on blitzes through what would that be? The 5 gap. So I saw them. It was the 5 gap. Yeah, I saw them bring
between guard and tackle, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Right, because I think Spain has shown that he's always happy to help, but he's primarily happy to help inside. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So because that shows up on film, if you go back and watch the first 4 games, go ahead and watch when Spain is uncovered. That's what he's going to do. He's going to cover inside. He doesn't cover on Dawkins, right? He doesn't help out Dawkins.
Well, you want to take the guy, depending on the blocking scheme that you have set up,
Mm-hmm.
you want to take the guy that has the most direct route to your quarterback, and that's usually been inside.
Right, but what I saw today was I saw Tennessee know that about Spain. They have a tendency to help inside, especially since he was there last year.
Mm-hmm.
They would know what his tendencies are.
That's a great point.
Right? So they were bringing in safety and defensive backs in through that 5 gap and were really disrupting stuff. Like they got some pretty clean shots on Josh with secondary there. And that's concerning to me.
I understand that, and I think I know some of the plays you're talking about. I think a lot of what they were doing was they were bringing multiple guys on that side, though. So it wasn't just for Spain. I think it was more for Dawkins. So they're shooting the gap between Dawkins. Dawkins knows he has an edge rusher he has to take care of. The communication of a guy who has to chip and or not wanting Yeldon to get out in the route.
Right.
So you can focus all your resources on the wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So you blitz a guy off that side so that either Yeldon has to stay in or Dawkins and Spain have to communicate. And I understand what you mean completely about he's better shifting inside. A lot of guys are better shifting inside as well. However, him playing there, Vrabel being that guy from the Patriots, he'll do that. He will do that. He'll say, okay, I coached this guy for an entire year last year. I know where his weaknesses are. Here's what I'm going to try to attack. Yeah. So that could be something. Make a note of that. It could be something moving forward that happens with Spain. They may try to shoot that gap a little bit more. However, because the Bills have been successful running right up the gap, that takes the guy right out of there. So then you got one guy to beat to go a second level.
Well, and actually, it's funny because as we were talking about, I looked over to the chat section, and somebody had actually mentioned that. Robert Sheary calls out, with Spain being in Tennessee last year, maybe they knew something. Yeah, great point. Absolutely.
That is an excellent
100%. I do want to point out that it is getting time to the end of the road for us. Hold on, I got to pull this address real fast. So again, if you're gonna send us your address, make sure you email us your address
don't put it
to
in the chat.
at hshaksports@gmail.com. I will save that so that way we have that separate. But I do want to point out that it is getting to the time where we are going to start cutting videos for the rest of the week. We are going to be in the car this week. So what kind of stuff do you want us to talk about? Make sure you hit us up in the chat section or in the comment section once this video is complete. We're going to go and record our content now. Go get some Timmy Ho's double action. What?
Can't wait to get that.
Oh man, Gary sent us his address. Gary's, I got something for you in that box. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry.
I can't control it. You two guys are like Lawan and Hughes today.
Did you see Hughes headbutt Lawan?
Oh my God. I think that was mutual respect. I think that was out of mutual respect. He's like, oh yeah, good job.
What, are you kidding me? You'd say they're Rams. Like that's what Rams do when they're.
What are you gonna do on the
field?
field?
They headbutt each other.
You have two options: headbutt or butt slap. You got two options. You didn't want to do the latter. You did the first one. Yeah. So
perfect.
listen,
So thank you again for sending out those emails. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Pierre Martinez.
Awesome.
I want to see the Bills. I want to see if the Bills can score 20 points in a game. Yeah. You're not alone, man. But hey, a win's a win.
They did it twice.
Right? A win's a win.
Twice. They did it twice.
Yeah, it is. Remember, old fashioned drums getting close to the day bowl cutoff. Yeah, it is. Sure is. That's next week's content, not this coming week. The following week, we'll be back in the car because we're on the bye week. So again, if we're not going to cover your topic for this week, if you have it, remember hashtag Q&A on this video,
Yes.
and we will go ahead and see if we don't get it to this week, it might not be a bad idea to get to it next week.
Yeah, for our rapid fire. We'll definitely do it for our rapid fire.
Yep.
So all of you that joined us today, you guys that liked, awesome. Thank you very much. Hashtag Nation, you guys rock. And before you leave, if you haven't, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we're out of here.
Oh wait! Before we go, Genius Expert is trolling everybody in the comment section.
Yeah,
and he just said Bills 0-4 in the Super Bowls, but he wasn't a Patriots fan until 2001. So I feel like that is not a valid argument, right? If you're not a Patriots fan until 2001, you can't go back in the record books and start pulling stuff from 1990. It's just not allowed. And right? That's kind of a tacky tack move.
As much as maybe it's like this. As much as you like to comment how old I am, it'd be like me saying, "Hey, the Jets won Super Bowl III. Awesome."
Yeah.
If I was a Jets fan.
Woo!
Hey, sweet. Yeah, I was never alive.
Listen, I'm not going to claim that I'm not a Yankees fan.
He's from Williamsville, isn't he?
Maybe.
Genius Expert's from Williamsville. Much any money you're a Buffalo Patriot fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. See you guys
Later, guys.